Hey friends, this is Nick, and I call my channel DZ Performance. I appreciate you tuning in. This is a follow-up test. This motor was the 400 small block that I used in the 400 versus 396 video. But in that video, I ran this motor with 882 two-barrel heads, which in that video, the motor produced 335 horsepower and 430 foot-pounds of torque. So the change that we've made is upgraded to double hump 186 casting GM heads. They've got big valves in them. They were mildly ported, but let me show you some dyno footage of both combinations, and I'll come back and go over the complete specs of the motor with you one more time and show you the dyno sheets. Okay, I'm back to give you the complete specs on this motor. This is a 1971, the short block is a 1971 511 casting block. So that means it's a 4-bolt main. It has the stock oil pan that I believe came on at factory. It does not have a windage tray. It's got the factory bolts in the mains. The mains on the crankshaft are turned 10 under. The rods are turned 10 under on the crankshaft. The rods in the motor are the 5.56 length stock connecting rods with upgraded with ARP rod bolts. The pistons are 30 over, which the block is bored 30 over. They are 22cc dish cast pistons. The block has been decked, surfaced at one time. The pistons are setting 30 thousandths below deck still, even after it has been decked. So that's the short block. The cam that is in it is an Extreme Energy. The cam that we tested with is an Extreme Energy 268, 280 on the exhaust, advertised duration. At 50 thousandths, measured at 50 thousandths, it has a 224 duration on the intake and a 230 duration on the exhaust. The valve lift on the intake is a 470, and the valve lift on the exhaust is a 0.480. So that's what the short block that we used. The cylinder heads, like mentioned before, they've been called some of the worst heads that GM made by viewers and friends have told me this. They are the casting number 882s with 172 intake valves and 150 exhaust valves. They just have a basic single angle valve job on them. I did bowl blend the pocket port the heads and gasket match them at the intake. So they're just the really basic 2-barrel heads. The upgrade that I did was the casting number 186 double hump cylinder heads. Now these are cylinder heads that are pretty difficult to find nowadays. This is the cylinder head that was originally, casting number that was originally equipped on like the 1969 Z28, like the 1970 LT1 350, the 350 horse, 350 cubic inch, you know, the high performance GM. Okay, to continue on and tell you about the cylinder heads, they are upgraded with 2.02 intake valves, and exhaust is a 1.60. They have screw-in rocker studs and guide plates. They're mildly ported. Okay, in the previous test, we had an outcome with the 2-barrel heads of a horsepower of 335 horsepower and 430 foot-pounds of torque. So a change of only the cylinder heads to the 186s, this increased the compression ratio from 8.4, it increased it to 9.5. And the improvement of airflow gave us a horsepower of 412 and 481 foot-pounds of torque. That's with the 770 Brawler. We tried at the shop, Dino shop, we tried a 950 carburetor, and it did 422 horsepower and 489 foot-pounds of torque. That's an 87 horsepower increase over the 2-barrel heads. So there was a huge difference in between good quality heads that have great airflow characteristics and increased compression by a little over 1 point. That's my test for today, and I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you.